Hi everyone, and welcome to today's edition of Gardening and Canning in the City. Today we're going to can some blackberry pie filling for the holidays. This will make it really easy for you to make your blackberry pies if you have to go to a potluck or you have to take it to the family when they get together for Christmas or Thanksgiving. That way you have it on the shelf and you just open up the jar, throw it in the pie crust and bake it, and off you go. This is really easy. So come along with me and let's get started. Thanks. So for today's blackberry pie filling, I'm using these organic blackberries I got at the business Costco. You have them at the regular Costco, but they don't have the big packages, and it's cheaper at the business Costco. So I have these 12-ounce packages. There is 12 packs of them, of 12 ounces each, and they are organic. So we're going to go ahead and get these all washed up and ready to go so that we can make our pie filling. For this recipe, we're going to need 7 cups of sugar, 1 3/4 cup of clear gel. Always use clear gel, don't use flour or cornstarch, it will separate. Just make sure you use clear gel. And then of course there's the 6 quarts of berries. And then you need 1/2 cup of lemon juice. It has to be bottled lemon juice. You cannot use fresh squeezed. This is mandatory. You cannot skip the lemon juice. That's what makes it shelf stable. So what we're going to do is take our cornstarch and mix it in with our sugar. And then we'll stick it in the water. So in the pan, I have 9 1/3 cups of cold water. I like to use filtered water. It just cans better than stuff with minerals in it. And to that, we're going to add the sugar and the cornstarch that we mixed together. And then we'll mix all that up. Whew, one big puff. And once we have this all mixed up, and there's no clumps, then we will start cooking and bring it up to a boil. Okay, so I've got my 7 cups of sugar, 1 3/4 cups of clear gel, and 9 1/3 cups of cold water. Make sure it's cold or else your clear gel will clump. It's mixed all together. Now I'm going to turn it on and bring this up to a boil. And then I will add the 1/2 cup of bottled lemon juice. And then I'll simmer it or boil it for 1 minute. And then I'll be ready to add the berries and jar up. I got my bottles. My jars are on that side, and they are sterilizing. They've been boiling for 10 minutes, so they're all ready to go. And I'll bring you back as soon as this comes up to a boil. All right, just came up to a boil, so I'm going to go ahead and add my lemon juice and bring it back up to a boil, and I'm going to boil it for 1 minute. Set the timer for 1 minute. There we go. Ooh, it's hot. When you're doing this, you're going to want to make sure that you have plenty of time to stand here and stir it, because it goes really quick. You don't want to be messing with kids or dogs or anything like that. You want to have full attention because it will burn really easily. I love blackberry pie. When I lived up in the Pacific Northwest, we used to go out picking blackberries and raspberries, and oh, it was so much fun. We'd take our little buckets and go pick them. We have berries in the garden, but I mean, you only get like a handful. There's not enough there to make a pie out of. So this is how we have to make our pie. See how nice and thick it is now. It's really thick. All right, there's our 1 minute. Okay, I'm gonna turn this off, and then I'm going to add the berries. Fold them over in it. Ooh, hot. kind of want to coat the berries with the sauce, and that'll warm them up because it's not going to take much to warm those berries up. You don't want to handle them a lot because you don't want to have them all breaking up into little pieces. So just turn them enough to coat them in the sauce. You can use blackberry juice or any other kind of juice if you'd like to have more flavor. All I could find was cranberry and apple at several different stores, so I finally just gave up and I used water. But you can use water or you can use juice in this recipe. There we go. It's all mixed up. Let's start canning it up. Alright, so we're going to start canning this up. I always like to put my jars in bowls so it doesn't crack my countertop or the jar, because the jar is hot. So hot and cold, they don't get along very well. So I always stick them in bowls. There we go. This is nice and thick. It'll be great in a pie. I also use them in little fruit pies for the kids. These are great to have on the shelf. Now, it's been my experience that when you're canning with this clear gel, even though the recipe says a 1-inch headspace, you're going to want to give it a little bit extra because it expands during processing. I've, been doing this long enough, I learned that. So you're going to want to give it about 1.5 inches headspace so that it doesn't overflow during processing or after processing. So right here is your 1 inch. I'm going to go just below that. Actually, I have a little bit too much in there. So take some out. That's it, right there. So I have it about right there. I'm going to go ahead and clean off my rim. Here's my lid and the ring. You want this fingertip tight, so it's not cranked down, it's just fingertip tight. And I'm going to go ahead and put this one into the canner. And we'll do the next one. And the recipe doesn't say to debubble, but I always debubble everything when I'm canning, because you want that air out of there because it expands and that'll cause problems when you're canning. The air can't escape. This is going to be so yummy. I'm going to add this to my apple pie mix that I did and the raspberry pie mix I did. And then next we're going to do some raspberry. And that'll be really good too. If you make it too full, all you got to do is just take a little bit out. No big deal, as long as that rim is clean. You wipe it down real good, you'll be fine. Make sure you get all those air bubbles out of the very bottom. I like to use my handy dandy chopstick. There we go. Wipe my rim. Put on my lid, finger tight my ring, and in the canner it goes. I'm going to can the rest of these back up and we'll be right back. That's what she looks like. Alright, our quarts of blackberry pie filling are all set. I got 7 quarts. I also got 2 pints. I'm going to stick those in the oven and process them later. But in the meantime, you have to make sure you got at least a 1-inch water over the top of these. And I'm going to go ahead and process these. So you're going to bring this up to a rolling boil for the water bath canning. And then for pints and quarts, it's 30 minutes for 0 to 1,000 feet, 35 minutes for 1,000 to 3,000 feet, or 40 minutes for 3,000 feet and over. I am at just over 2,000 feet, so I'm going to process these for 35 minutes, and then I will turn the power off and let them sit for another 5 minutes inside the canner. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this up to a boil and process for 35 minutes. Well, our jars are processed for 35 minutes, and I let them sit for 5 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and start pulling these out of the canner. See what they look like. They look beautiful. Stick them on a towel on the countertop. You want them on the towel so that they don't shatter on the countertop. There you go. They look beautiful. Look at that. That is going to be some great blackberry pie filling for over the holidays. I'm really excited. And as you can see right there, remember I told you how to make sure you have that 1.5 inch headspace? That's what happens. This clear gel really expands when it's processed. So, yeah, there's another one doing it right there. They usually seal without a problem, but for some reason that clear gel, it just expands and it will come right out the top. So, make sure you leave that extra headspace when you're doing clear gel pie filling. And it's done it with all of them. Apple, cherry, you name it, it's done it. Yep, this one's coming out too. See? Alright. So I'm going to let these sit on the counter 24 hours. I'll check their seal in a couple hours to make sure they all sealed. But they usually do pretty good. They seal pretty easily. So, beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. It's going to be great pie for over the holidays. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's edition of Gardening and Counting in the City, and I hope you try making your own blackberry pie filling. It is really amazing, and your pies will taste so good, and you don't have to mess with it when the holidays are running around. All you have to do is throw it in the pie crust and throw it in the oven. So give it a try. Please subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more videos like this. There'll be more coming up soon. Thank you, and have a great day. Happy canning. Bye.